or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about a bunch of new Pokemon cards. We've got a new EX, we've got a really nice new supporter, we've got a bunch of really good stuff, but we need to start off talking about Wailord. I adore Wailord. Wailord is sneaky one of my favourite Pokemon. I have a giant Wailord. My kids write passages when they become bigger than the Wailord Teddy. It's like the $60 Wailord, not the $400 Wailord, but still, it's a big old Wailord Teddy, and I love it. I love Wailord. And as someone who was obviously obsessed with the Pokemon TCG, Wailord is always super interesting. And also, while we're here, check out the illustration rare of Wailord. This I absolutely adore. This is, I think, my favourite of the illustration rares we've seen so far from the set, which isn't much. There's only actually 3 we've seen. Never mind, eh? I love this Wailord. If we start off, 240 HP is absolutely absurd. And you might be thinking, Wassy, have we had a single prize stage 1 with 240 HP yet? No! Wailord always breaks barriers when it comes to HP. We've had stage 1 EXs, like Palafin's up at 340. But no, we have not had a stage 1 single prize Pokemon with 240 HP. This is literally like big, basic, small stage 1 EX HP territory here. It is absolutely absurd. That alone makes it worth considering. But it's actually got a very nice attack if you're willing to get some energy roll in. Because what the attack does here is we've got 4 energy, which is a lot, 10 damage, plus 50 for each water energy on this Pokemon. So you can pay the attack cost with non-water energy, but that would be dumb. You put 4 energy on there, you're doing 210 damage, that's not too bad. But you can keep going. And you can pile more energy on here and more energy on here. 6 energy is 310. And I know that's a lot of energy, but we do have Baxcalibur in the format right now. And Baxcalibur will let you accelerate as much energy as you like. And we do have things like Superior Energy Retrieval that will let you recover 4 energy from your discard pile. And I'm just saying, yes, this does demand a lot of energy, but we have ways to recover a lot of energy. We have ways to attach a lot of energy. This could actually work. I'm giving this 4 Wassies, and I'm overly excited about this because of my love for Wailord, and I don't even care. This has ridiculous HP. If you put enough energy on here, it can literally one-hit KO anything. And sure, it takes a lot of energy, and you got to have Baxcalibur and all of that, but you've got the HP of an EX while giving up 1 prize and one-hit KOing EXs. I'm kind of all right with that. Also, 130 HP basic, not to be sniffed at. But I promised you a new EX. How about Volcanion EX? And Volcanion is one of these which kind of always gets an EX, or whatever the special card is. So it makes sense that Volcanion was coming. We got an ability here that says, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's active is now burned. Just a straight, if this is active, you can burn your opponent. Cool. That's really good. Automatic burn, that's an extra. Remember, they changed the burn rules a little while ago. So now you take 2 damage counters, and then you flip to see if you're no longer burned. Heads, you are safe from burn. Tails, you're still burned. But it will always do 2 damage counters. And that is absolutely important. Make no mistake about it, this is extra damage, and it's a basic EX. So you can use this straight away, even if you don't have the energy on there. If you do have the energy on to attack, 160 damage, and then you move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not loving the attack here. And I'm not loving fire energy acceleration generally. It's just not a great... We often have good fire energy acceleration. We just don't right now. Yes, I know we've got Mela, but the problem with Mela is it's 1 energy attached for turn. Where's your 3rd energy? This needs 3 energy. So I'm not loving it. We're losing Magma Basin to the rotation, so that ain't going to work. So we're a little bit... I'm not loving the fire energy acceleration we have right now. In some formats in the past, it's been amazing. It's just not where we are right now, unfortunately. And yes, I know we've got some Pokemon energy acceleration. Don't think I'm forgetting about that. Obviously, we've got Chi-Yu, which I love the Akira Igawa artwork on the special illustration rare. But I'm not sure if it's, you got to get 2 energy on this in order to use it, and it just gets a little bit awkward. And yes, I know we've got Charizard, and obviously I love Charizard, but that's evolving into a stage 2 to accelerate some energy onto a basic when Charizard's just a better attacker anyway. Like, if I'm getting my Charizard up and rolling, I don't want to get my Charizard up and rolling to accelerate energy onto a Volcanion. I want to get the energy onto Charizard to attack with Charizard. And I don't think I'm the only one. Yes, you can attack with Volcanion, moving the energy to Charizard to attack with that later, I suppose, but it just seems like an awkward way round. We need better energy acceleration for this to be a good attacker, but I love the ability. Let's go and give it 3 Wassies for the time being, which sounds overly harsh, but I've said it now, so I'm not changing. But while we're talking about fire Pokemon, and while we're talking about burn Pokemon, how about we have a look at Magmortar? Magmortar is a very nice Pokemon. It's another stage 1, but it's got a really nice ability that says, put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burned Pokemon during Pokemon checkup, which of course means between turns. And this combined with Volcanion, and I still don't think we're attacking with either of them. We'll get to the attack on this in a moment. But I think with Magmortar on the bench, you get Volcanion in the active, automatic burn, your opponent takes 5 damage counters during Pokemon checkup, and then has to flip to see if they're not burned. Pair of these together, you will need an attacker, but honestly, you could play this with literally any deck. Just make sure you play a bunch of switching to get Volcanion in and out of the active, and then all of a sudden, you can just be doing like 5 damage counters. And remember, it's 5 damage counters between turns. So it's 5 after your turn, and if your opponent doesn't flip heads on burn or get out the active, then it's another 5 after their turn. This can add up very quickly. The attack is free energy 90 and burn on a heads flip, which I don't like at all. Let's go and give this thing 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I really like Magmortar and Volcanion as a pair, but I think it's very much a supporting role in another deck. I think they're both pretty terrible attackers. Oh, and also, because I know some people are going to ask this, so let me say it now, there's no brackets at the end of this ability, which means there's no sentence saying you can only apply one of these abilities at a time. Nah, mate, this totally stacks. There is a world in which you get 4 Magmortar on the bench, and then you pop your Volcanion in the active, and your opponent takes 14 damage counters for burn, which is frankly hilarious. But as well as all these lovely new Pokemon, we do have a lovely new supporter as well, and it is a good supporter that I think is going to see a bunch of play. We've got ourselves Iris's Fighting Spirit. Shout out to lovely Anton Boulet for the name of this one. And you have to discard a card from your hand in order to use it, but then you draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. So you play this, there's -1 card in hand. You discard a card from hand, there's -2 cards in hand. And hopefully at this point, you can then turn around and draw like 6 cards. That's obviously the goal here. Now, there are going to be some decks where you want to be building up a decent hand size. At which point, this is going to be an awkward deck, frankly. Because this is a supporter card that really relies on you emptying your hand so that you can then draw as many cards as possible with this. So you need to consider exactly what deck this is played in. It's not going to work with everything, but I'm saying this is going to work with a bunch of stuff, and I really like this. New draw supporters are always important. And we've seen stuff like Corinna's Focus in the past. Corinna's Focus is a flat draw until you got 6 cards in hand, decent cards saw play. This is discard a card from your hand and then draw till you got 6. Now, a lot of the time that's better, because what you really want to do here is be emptying your hand as much as possible so you're drawing the maximum number of new cards so that you've got the better chance of drawing into the particular cards you want. There will be times where you do not want to discard a card from your hand, or you literally do not have a card to discard from your hand, and that's going to make things a lot more awkward. But I'm just saying, this is a very nice new draw supporter. A bunch of decks are going to use it. Not every deck can use this. It's got to be a deck that is comfortable and honestly pretty good at getting rid of cards in their hand, so you can make the most of this. But I'm telling you right now, this is a very nice draw supporter. I expected to see a bunch of play. I'm going to low-key give it 5 Wassies. I feel like my scores in this video might be all over the place, but I'm telling you, this is a good draw supporter, and I expected to see a bunch of play. While we're here, Super Potion's getting reprinted. We don't need to talk too much about this because we've had Super Potion before. It's the one whereby you heal 60 and discard an energy from a Pokemon. Yeah. Last had it back in Evolutions. So it's been a while since we've had Super Potion, don't get me wrong. But it's one of those, it's a decent enough card. There will be decks that want to use it. Healing 60 can be quite nice. But this is not going to be a huge staple in every deck or anything like that. Decent card, will see some play, not phenomenal. What might be better healing, however, is Magearna. I love Magearna. This is awesome. What we've got here is an ability that reads, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, heal 90 damage from that Pokemon. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, you've got to get it in and out the active, but I don't care. This is great healing. Like I mentioned Pascalibur Wailord earlier. Yeah. Every time you attach an energy, you heal 90. And by the way, it is whenever you attach an energy. It's not once per turn. It is any time you attach an energy, and it is energy from your hand, but however you do that, it works. So Pascalibur attaching extra energy from hand totally works. The other one that people are going to be wondering about is Teal Mask Gogapon. We don't need a ruling, we've seen this before. Teal Mask Gogapon attaches energy from your hand, and therefore the ability works. No ifs, buts, or maybes, you are attaching from your hand, and therefore the ability activates. Job's a good un. So you can use this to potentially heal up if your opponent's trying to take out your Ogerpon EX, as an example. It's not going to be for every deck, and clearly it's best when you're attaching multiple energy during your turn, but just a flat heal 90 is not bad. Bearing in mind, Super Potion heals 60, and that just got printed as like an item card as a, hey, do you want to play this? I'm just saying, if you can switch in and out the active, this becomes way better. Darkness decks with Pecharunt, that's got a lot of extra switching, obviously gain a huge advantage here, because it means it's going to be much easier to get your Pokemon in and out the active. Essentially, you switch Magearna into the active, but then Subjugated Chains lets you then switch Magearna out for a Bench Darkness Pokemon. So you only need to get Magearna into the active. You can get it out the active very easily. I really like this one. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think there is a lot of potential here. And it's a bit awkward to use, don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you that healing 90 or more just for attaching energy, which you're literally doing anyway, could work, ladies and gentlemen. Could work. All right, there we go. There's the new cards. That's what you need to know. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards you're excited about. Tell me if you think Wailord is as good as I do. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Goodness! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Eric Ridgway, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.